Speaking of mama bears that Pastor Steve Riggle was talking about, a school district in Georgia recently learned a valuable lesson from a group of those conservative moms, those mama bears. You can't stop them from protecting their children, and I am so grateful for that. Well, last month, Forsyth County Schools agreed to pay over $107,000 in legal fees to the group of mothers that they tried to ban from attending board meetings. I'm telling you. See, the left cannot defend their position, so they want to silence. We're seeing this across the board. And they were blaming them because the mothers were trying to express concern over library books containing sexually explicit materials and doing so by reading from them. This is what gets me. This is happening all across the country, where parents are getting these books out of the school libraries, taking them, and the school board said, oh, you can't read those. It's inappropriate. Well, if it's inappropriate for us to read at an adult gathering at a school board, then why is it being provided to our children? And that's what the mothers wanted to know. And thankfully, the school district's attempt to silence them failed. Joining me now to talk about this is Cindy Martin, chairwoman of the Mama Bears. Cindy, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, so walk us through how all this unfolded, how you got involved in this, and fill in any blanks that I left.
All right, you hit it dead on. So the way that we got started was that a friend of mine told me that there were sexually explicit books in our school system, and I did not believe it. So I did the research myself, and lo and behold, yes, there were highly sexualized books in our school system. And I wish I could share some of the book excerpts with you, but that would not be possible on TV. So they are so sexually explicit. And every time I find another one, it's worse than the one before. So what I decided to do was, there were so many of these books, I knew that I could not challenge them on my own. So I put a notice out on social media and I said, are there any other moms out there who would be willing to challenge these books with me? And I had so many moms come forward that we decided to form a group, and we just kind of came up with the name Mama Bears. It stuck, it sounded right. And so what we first decided to do was go to the school system and share these books with them and say, hey, did you know these are in here? We'd like them removed. And they refused. So we said, okay, we asked for an audit so that they could find these books. They refused. Then we asked for a rating system such as we have in the movies or the gaming industry so that parents know what kind of content your child will be exposed to before they are. They said no. And then we finally asked for a separate section in the library, and they said no. So all of our common sense solutions were rejected. So we said, okay, if they really feel like these books are appropriate for children, then we're just going to go to the school board meeting and expose them and force them, sort of embarrass them, to get these books out. And that's how it got started. This was about a year ago, and we had 8 of our fierce mama bears ready to stand up there, be ridiculed, and read these book excerpts. And we were silenced. They would not let us proceed. They gavelled us, and they said that they were protecting children. Which the room erupted in laughter, right? Because they were not allowing us to read from books that they are giving to our children, but we were not allowed to read them to the adults in the room.
Did the irony of that escape them? Did they not realize what they were saying?
I think they were more trying to protect themselves, and that's all that they could come up with. So, but it didn't, the room erupted in laughter. So the irony definitely hit everybody in the room. So
now,
what happened was,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so yes, they silenced us. They would not let us continue. Some of our mama bears tried to use rhyming words or abbreviations, but it just wasn't coming close to what was in those books. And so we came back the next month, and my friend Allison and I said we were going to try again. And that's when they completely shut us down and actually banned Allison, my friend, from further meetings until she apologized to the board and promised she would obey their rules, which meant she had to give up her First Amendment right to free speech.
Wow.
And she refused. She refused. And so that's how the lawsuit got started.
All right, so we know you won the lawsuit, but let's talk about, because we only got about 45 seconds left, the end result in children being protected. What's happened?
Okay, so yes. So what this did was this sent a message to school boards across the nation that you cannot silence the parents that you serve. You must listen to us. And what it also did was send a message across the nation to mama bears and papa bears. Continue to stand up, continue to fight. Now we have this free speech foundation to go forward, because we know it's not going to stop at sexually explicit books. We have huge sexual agendas coming for our kids, and we are going to need the freedom of speech to protect them going forward.
Cindy, can I say thank you for being a mama bear?
You may. It's my pleasure. Thank you. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you for being an example. And I hope there are mamas all across this country that will be emboldened to do the same thing. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's all for Jesus Christ. Amen.